All right. So we talked a little bit about this last week. One of the things that I want to share with you all is Perplexity Spaces. Okay. So Perplexity Spaces, Perplexity, for those, just a refresher, I probably should go back to the bullet points here and just spend just a second here. So the beginner goal here is understanding this LLM, this large language model, right? And for those that don't know, Google, excuse me, Gemini, Claude, GPT, um, Perplexity, Grok, they're all considered large language models, right? So understanding how this one works, how it differs from standard chatbots like chat. It's an answers engine. It's not just a chat bot. Unlike other LLMs, Perplexity acts pretty much like a Swiss Army knife, like ChatGPT, but only for the information grabbing. It is really for information discovery. It searches the live web for every query, providing real-time answers rather than relying solely on training data. Every claim includes a citation. I love that. You can hover over the numbers, and we'll look at that here in just a moment. And it tells you, and you can click, you can see articles, you can see the sources, you can determine whether or not you want to rely on those. And then for everyday questions, it's really, really quick. It's really, really accurate. And you can determine whether or not you want to rely on it based upon the resources that it tells you how it got the information. So that's really, really cool. So let's jump into it. And one thing, if you come over here we talk through the basics here, how you want to search. We talked about how deep you want to go. If you just want to leave it as standard, right now it's pro. You can also create files and apps right from here. You can determine what you're using to research. You can turn on, if I want to shut off the web, notice nothing else is on. I do have my Dropbox in here. I'm going to turn on my Dropbox. And I am just going to say, can you please find the document contract for a Leica? So, and and it's not going to spell Leica correctly, but I just filed this. It's fresh in my mind because I just filed this yesterday. So, Leica is on the call, but she's also a remote team member of mine. It's gone into my documents and it has found in my computer in Dropbox, and it has found that document. I can click on it here and I can review that document. So I don't know about you guys, but that's a time saver for me. I look for documents constantly, and that's so you can determine what it's using to, and you can do that also with the other platforms. I find this to be a lot faster than what I have seen on other platforms. So that's just one use of it. Again, if you went over here to a new chat and you clicked on this, you could be looking in your Notion, you could be looking in Asana, Slack, Gmail, and you name it. So pretty awesome to be able to do that. You can also choose a model, unlike the other ones where they are the model, you can choose if you want to use Gemini, if you want to use Claude, if you want to use Best. I've never faded from using the Best on this. I just think it's done very well for me without me having to make any changes to it whatsoever. Just like the other platforms, you can attach a file here. And you can also, if you want to trust the microphone. And sometimes you get away with it and sometimes you don't. I don't really trust the microphone, but it is another dictation tool. So I'm going to open up the side here and come over here to spaces because I've been playing around with this, been blown away with what you can do, created a couple of spaces. Some of you already know I've been looking for an auto repair shop. My non-compete ends here in a few months, so I started putting my feelers out there. So I have it going out for me every morning at 9 a.m. and automatically in this space, and I'll show you what this is. This is different conversations. I told it, I put some resources up in there. I told it what I wanted it to do. This would be a tool to find your next 3 auto repair shops. That's just a random name that I gave for it. But what's really cool, and now I've saved a filing cabinet. This is the filing cabinet for this particular project, if you will. We would call this a project over in chat, a project over in Claude, over here in Perplexity. They call it Spaces. But what's really cool here, a couple of things. I can invite people to collaborate on this with me without without me even being on a paid plan, number one. I am on a paid plan for this, but you don't need one. But you also can invite, I don't need a business plan, I guess is what I'm saying. But I also can set up different tasks within this space. So this particular task, I have it running the auto repair acquisition resource space and perform a fresh search using the space instructions, identifying new non-duplicative general auto repair shops for sale that meet the defined criteria. So you can go as deep as you want to go. You can set the schedule for when you want it to go for when you, and I also told it it's not going to give me results that it has already given me in the past. So it's not going to repeat those previously given results. And as you can see, I'm getting a report daily that said there was no new qualifying. So it's out there doing the legwork for me, just making sure that I'm not asleep at the wheel and that I can get those results on a daily basis, if there are any. If I go back to spaces, I have another space that scours the internet for viral content that I will maybe want to duplicate. You can see Alika, who is my video and social media manager. She is collaborating on this, and if it goes out every single day, I forget exactly, but it brings me the resources. It brings me the resources that it thinks would be good for me to duplicate, whether it be a YouTube short, whether it be an Instagram, whether it be a long form video. It gives me hooks and just ideas to play with, but it also gives me the links. And by the way, I forgot to show this on the other one. Here's all the links. You can they are used as a source of truth for the end of each one of these bullet points. But if you just want to go directly to the links, you can. If you want to go directly to the videos, you can. So it's pretty cool how it organizes this for any way our brain loves to digest information. It's in there and it's easily available. Is that cool? Yes? Really cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this one here, again, is I'm going to go back to Viral Scout. I'm going to go back into tasks. And I have it doing two of them, I think, because I do see two here. I think one is for short form and one is for long form. That's what it is. Yep. And it tells it what platforms to go to. Tells it I just went back and forth. And how did I come up with the instructions? I had a conversation with ChatGPT on how I should direct it. And we're still refining this. This is just literally a week old. So pretty cool stuff to be able to set up a space and then set up a search within that space. It is called a space task. So we're in Perplexity. We've got this all set up, and you can have as many spaces as you want. I guess it depends on probably a number of things, but I think I'm on a $20 a month plan with Perplexity because I saw the power of Perplexity. But I did it for a while, and I would encourage you to do it for a while on the free version to determine whether or not this is a tool that's going to be an arrow that's in your quiver that you're using regularly. Okay. We can only use so much. And like I talked about at the beginning of the call, everybody's not going to love every tool. And there's a lot of tools to choose from for the different personalities. So I love that. One thing I do like is you can customize this bar for Discover, sports, entertainment. You can, if you go down into your settings down the bottom, you can open this up and you can start personalizing it. And we went over some of this last week. I'm not going to go too deep, but I like having travel as a choice in my sidebar, but you can, if it's a distraction, you can easily remove that. Shopping, academic, all these are smaller for me because I really don't use them. So I just chose them to be small. You can customize this sidebar and choose what's in there if you'd like, which is you can turn things on and off. I keep travel on, I keep spaces on, I keep discover on. But as you can see, I have shopping and academic, sports, and patents shut off, but they're still down there. They're just not showing as an icon. I can easily see my history, and I can use this just like if I want. I can just do this. I can, search out things. We played around it a little bit with it last week. We're talking about Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I'm sorry, Venezuela. We talked about thank you, love. We talked about Venezuela and what the news that was happening there, right? So, and that's one of the things about Perplexity is it is dialed into current events. What I really love about Perplexity also is I can tell it if it's doing research for me, I can tell it don't pull me any articles any earlier than blank June of 2025. I just want recent information. So that's good, especially when we're talking about AI and how quickly things are coming out with AI. So very, very important. I'm going to pause there for just a moment. Anybody have any questions about that? No? Okay, cool. I think control where perplexity looks for information. We started talking about this. So the web, social finance, academic, videos, you can search, you can just tell it to search videos. If that's all you want it to search. You can turn off, oh, let's play with that. So let's say, I am looking for a viral video that has to do with personal development. I really only want to search YouTube for those resources. Can you please pull me up as many as you possibly can? I would love the search to not, I would love the video not to be any older than 2026. Really just want to focus on this month's. So it's going to search YouTube. I love that you can see what it's doing, but see how fast that came up with that? I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And all my resources are there. My links to the resources are here. My images that it pulls up are here. And then the videos that it pulled up are all here. So I know based upon my prompt that that is going to be only 2026 stuff. If it listened to what I said, sometimes it doesn't. You know that. Most of the time it does. And also I know it's only going to go to YouTube. So and that just saves time in the search. Really, really cool. I love that I can copy my prompt if I want to do it over and over again. If I want to turn this into a space where we're constantly, if I want to add this to a space, if I want to rename this thread, all if I want to export this as a PDF once I've done my research, love that. Okay. So that's what this is talking about is really just dialing in that search to really fine tune what you're looking at. Also, we talked about spaces, context awareness. You can upload PDFs into that space. You can collaborate. We already talked about that as well. So I've covered some of this already. Now let's talk about a little bit more advanced stuff. Um, you can build content and automate your work. We talked about a little bit of this. I'm not going to go into labs right now. I'm still playing with that right now, but I love using it with NotebookLM. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit when we open up um, NotebookLM, but you can use Perplexity to find and vet high quality resources and then easily move them right over into NotebookLM to have it within its own notebook. So that's, as you see, very, very powerful. And then quick search operators. Here's some tricks. And by the way, you guys will all get this curriculum as always. So it will be underneath the video when we post the replay, which by the way, I just want to show you guys a little upgrade or update if you have not seen it in school. And that is if you go to the resources, which this is the master class, the original that was 1 hour long, or I'm sorry, 1 hour and 55 minutes long is here. But if you look, that has been recreated into different modules that are 13 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. I think the longest one here is about 36 minutes because we covered quite a bit on that module. But I broke it down into bite-sized chunks thanks to Alika. We've been working on this for about a week to make it a little bit more easy to digest the information. So our project together is we'll be doing that here in the AI clarity class that you're in right now. So this, rather than having just 7 classes, we're going to have each class will have its own, whatever it takes, 7, 8, 10 modules within that one class, and each class will have its own page. So we're going to make it a whole lot easier to digest and rewatch and learn and we'll still leave the original 2 hour video there as well, if that's how you like to absorb the information. So pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So awesome tricks. Quick search operators. You can restrict, like I just did a moment ago. I stayed on YouTube. Like this one, this example is how to categorize transactions. You want to send it and have it only search in QuickBooks.com to ensure that the answer only comes from the official source of QuickBooks. You can also um, restrict the results to a specific time frame, which I just did a moment ago, specific file type. I only want PDFs, all that good stuff. So pretty cool there. You can schedule queries to run automatically. We just did that, the task. We just saw that, I mean. And then I didn't cover this. We can slash commands. So you can create custom shortcuts that automatically insert a long, complex prompt that you have already created. Remember, the whole goal of this is to save time. We'll talk about that when we get to NotebookLM. But saving the prompts that I've used, and we talked about it last week, where that all your pure gold and platinum is down that left-hand side because it's not in a filing cabinet. This, using the commands, allows you to not have to lose the stuff or have to redo it over and over again. I haven't done this one, but I'm very excited to try it, and I will keep you updated. But you can integrate it with your WhatsApp. So you can literally talk to it through WhatsApp and have it receive messages from you and send answers to you with links right to your phone. And then you can generate and edit images within there as well. All of these platforms have some degree of image generation and video generation, some of it. The best that's very well known for it now is Gemini. But I will tell you, I was very surprised. I'll show you here in a little bit. Grok, their video image generation is amazing, absolutely amazing. And you can play around with that for free and get a 6-second video just to see how it does for you. And then using Comet, which is their browser, I have not made the switch and probably won't, but Perplexity's Comet, you can use the AI assistant to perform anonymous tasks. I haven't ventured into that much. We're at the pro level now. But if you want to go deep, Perplexity with Comet allows you to go as deep as you want to go, which is very cool. You're not limited. You're not handcuffed in any way. You're not going to get to a roadblock. Your skill level will determine how much you can do. It won't be the platform. And I love that. So they're very, very cool for Perplexity.